What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Matt Burrill, here to tell you guys about my friends from Big Friendly Productions. Now, they specialize in creating merchandise for bands, artists, and even lifestyle brands. With their in-house equipment, they can provide shirts, branded hats, and more, as well as some graphic design services. They offer order fulfillment to handle your online orders and ship your merch straight to your fans from their shop down in good old Birmingham, Alabama, baby. Now, whether you are getting your first shirt, you're just starting out, or you're going on a 40-show run, hit them up for all your merchandising needs. Check out their website, bigfriendlyproductions.com, or shoot them an email, merchandising@bigfriendlyproductions.com. Now, we're going to get into the episode. This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill. Also, make sure you guys like, rate, subscribe, tell your mama and them. And for more details and to get in touch with the rest of the familia, visit raisrowdy.com. Now, let's get into it. Outside the Round with me, Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast.
This is Outside the Round with Matt Burrill, a Raise Rowdy podcast.
All right. Well, we are joined today by our good friend, Miss Harper O'Neill. Harper, how the hell are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing good. Were you on the road this weekend?
Trying to remember. No, we played Bonaroo this weekend.
Oh shit!
But
That's a huge moment for you, isn't it?
Oh my god! I'm such I love festivals. I went to school in Austin, so we went to ACL every year. Been to Lolla, been to Bonaroo before, and so this was huge bucket list item for sure.
Yeah, what is the vibe at Bonaroo? Because we have friends that go every year, like our boy Trey Bonner, which we joke Bonner at Bonaroo, and he goes there for the whole week, and then he needs the following week to recover, just coming down from all the highs that he was on, both emotionally, physically, and mentally, just all over the place. What is the vibe at a festival like that? Because I've never been to a jammy, all over the place kind of festival.
So I think with Bonaroo, the main difference between Lolla and ACL is that you camp. So it's a lot of people fully committing to the whole weekend of 3 days being out there. The heat is insane. I mean, and you're just kind of running around. It's really spread out too. So there's tons of walking and it's a whole thing. I played Saturday. And I was going to go back on Sunday because Meg was playing in Red Clay. And I texted her in the morning and I was like, I simply will not be there.
Yeah.
my heart is with you, but I will not be there.
Yeah. Now, who else was there on the day that you were playing?
So I was in the Outeroo. So it's the stages by the campgrounds.
Oh, fun. So you're with the diehards. You're with the people that are there experiencing the whole festival.
Absolutely.
Campgrounds to me are where it's at.
Absolutely. They're the people who also, I think, in my opinion, really value music discovery.
Yeah.
They are going to stop by and check out something if they hear something cool going on or a song they like or whatever. But before me, J.D. Clayton played, who I just love. Yeah. So I got to catch his set. He had a great crowd, and his band's they're awesome.
Sweet. So. And then the headliners for that are all over the place, right? For Bonaroo, it's all kinds of different bands. Foo Fighters was there this year, right? And
Paramore, Tyler Childers.
So it's really a wide spectrum of just all over the place.
I think really truly there's something for everyone.
That's awesome.
You will find something you are dying to see.
Yeah, we kicked off our festival season we're starting to call it Raise Rowdy Summer Camp. That's what we're calling it. Because we're going to all these, because during COVID, Nikki T and the Raise Rowdy crew, which is actually how I really got to know Nikki, they used to go to festivals all the time up in Ohio, Pennsylvania, in that area. And during COVID, obviously, you didn't have festivals. So they would just set up 40 or 50 of them would camp out in somebody's backyard on a big piece of property and then have artists come up and play, just acoustic.
That is so awesome.
So they call it summer camp. So now we're bringing that. We were at Tailgate and Tallboys this weekend up in Bloomington, Illinois. Yeah. Which I had known those guys. They run a venue up in Peoria, Illinois called Cruisin's, and they're Wayne and Austin, the USA concert scene. They're great, but there's 5 of these things they do around the country. Taylorville's their biggest one, and the lineup is just all over the place. To where the headliners range from Nickelback, Parker McCollum, Jelly Roll, Laney, Bailey Zimmerman. And then the after parties were like Young Gravy, Mike Stud, Charlie on a Friday, Trailer Park Tammy, Chelsea Lynn was like the MC.
That's
and like
awesome.
getting people eating corn dogs and shit. But that was my first time camping at a festival because we got there Tuesday and we camped out for 4 or 5 days. And like you said, the campground is just a different environment and just different vibe. And I can only imagine at Bonaroo, like, because Bonaroo's like, that's up there with Lala and some of the biggest festivals in the world.
It's massive, totally massive. But yeah, it's like a whole separate experience out in the campground. Like it's almost 2 little festivals, you know?
For sure. And the other day, so I listen to SiriusXM on the highway a lot. And the other day, I was riding back from, I'd actually dropped, we were on our way back from the festival up in Illinois on Sunday. And I remember I was listening to the highway and all of a sudden I hear Guilty. And then I hear like she was saying how there were the two older folks that called in and were like, what's that song with Guilt? Like, just like people are seeming to really like it. It's just wild and awesome to see yourself and see Ben and see Meg and see Tyler and see like what your whole crew is doing. Like, how crazy is it? You have shit on the radio.
I know, it's been nuts. I mean, like, just getting like texts from family members and friends being like, I'm sorry, wait, what? Like I'm just like bopping along to SiriusXM and they're like, no, this new artist, Harper O'Neill. And it's been surreal. It really has. That song specifically, I'm just so proud of. When I first finished it with my friends Jacob and John, I had sent the demo that John had made to my mama, and she just flipped out. Like, it is her favorite song.
Mama approval. That's
approval.
That's the key. Mama's got to approve.
We talk pretty regularly, like once a week or so, and she called me after that and was like, this song's a hit. Like this, she was so proud. So I was so excited to tell her it's going to be on SiriusXM, and Pandora's done a lot of stuff like promoting it. And it's just been, I don't know, it's been so fun.
Yeah. And you're the big thing, because I remember watching you guys like before COVID, like I call it like the most recent generation of Revival disciples in a way. Shout out to Rob and Vinny and Chris and the whole crew at Revival. Love you guys. They're like cousins of ours with Raised Rowdy.
Yes, exactly.
And around what I do, like we're all like in that family. But you guys never set out to really write commercial stuff or put out commercial stuff that you'd ever think would be on country radio. It was always more storyteller, like for those that really appreciate the lyrics and appreciate the words. And you guys were doing, I remember on the last podcast we did, like authenticity and like being true to yourselves. And now the fact that country music has expanded and the storytelling aspect and Americana and that style is getting the light to where the masses are starting to get exposed to it with you and Meg, Ben, Tyler are the 4 that I really see. It's fucking awesome. It's
so awesome. And I don't think it's anything we'd expected to kind of change, but it does seem like country music is expanding and you can kind of say what version yours is and put your own spin on it and put it out there and keep the integrity of your influences and the integrity of the songwriting that you enjoy the most. So yeah, I don't know. It's been an awesome few years. I mean, they're all having just crazy success of their own and like kind of paving this new path for each of their styles of music. And I'm just so proud of all of them.
Yeah, and the touring that you guys have done, I feel like that's the biggest thing. That's how, to me, that's like if you're a musician, like a big thing is selling tickets and getting to go to new markets and getting to experience different parts of the country and them getting to discover you guys from being kids that were just hanging out here in Nashville, smoking, doing a little hippie speedball, a little morning coffee, a little morning J, and just writing songs and then playing rounds when you could, to now getting to go out with acts like Morgan Wade, with acts like Ashley McBride, with acts like Lainey Wilson, who I think is like the queen of what you guys are. That's like this traditional kind of revival of music, of country music. It's got to be fucking just...
Well, and to learn from them every night. So to play my show, do the best that I can do with the skill level that I'm at and the experience that I have, and then to sit back and watch these true professionals do their job I mean, the showmanship, all three of those girls you just listed is just incredible. And they're all so different.
Yes.
They provide such a different experience. And I've just found myself in awe of all of them. The other one I got to open for was Paul Cawthon.
Yeah, dude, what is it like touring with Big Velvet? Were you there in South Carolina?
We played the show right before that.
I was going to say, what a legendary moment though. Free Big Velvet, by the way. I'm sure he's out now, but free Big Velvet, Paul Cawthon. We love you.
We do love Paul. I mean, his band was incredible. I think when I think about Paul and his music, I think about it's a vibe, right? Like it's a total unique sonic landscape, really. It's his own thing. And to see him live, he can play that guitar, he can play the piano, he's just bopping around, and he's so musically gifted. It was so inspiring to watch. And he's got this dance move. I told him I'm gonna try to steal it. It's just like one shoulder and he just like moves it up and down. And I don't know where it came from. It's kind of giving like Elvis a little bit. I don't know. But he's got the riz, man. Like, he's just got it. It's so
he
cool.
reminds me of Joaquin Phoenix playing Johnny Cash and Walk the Line. That, to me, is... And the other guy that reminded me of that, like, there's 2 times that I've seen that in somebody. I've seen that in going to Paul Cawthon shows. So I've seen him a few times. And then my first whiskey jam ever back in 2018 was the night that Show Up Drunk came out for Ryan Nelson. And this was clean-cut... Blazer Ryan Nelson.
Right.
And I remember seeing him on stage and being like, that guy reminds me of Walk the Line, Johnny Cash. But Paul Cawthon is very much that vibe, and his fan base is great too. And that, to me, is a big thing that you're doing with your music is you're getting to play in front of these diehard fan bases.
Yeah.
And it's people that are also authentic and people that are a little left of center musically and saying what they really want to fucking say. Not conform to anything, but they're still having success because the fans resonate with that. And it seems like I would imagine they take well to the openers, and your vibe has gone over pretty well. You know?
I think it really has. I mean, just looking at some of the relationships I've built with fans that I saw opening for Morgan, they came to support Ashley and go see Ashley, and they remembered me, and we got to hang again and see each other down the road a little bit. So you're so spot on. All of those artists have great fans who are just dedicated to supporting their work. I mean, with Morgan Wade, there were so many people who were at several of her shows. Yeah. And I'm like, how did you get here? Because I've been driving for hours. Did you take a shortcut? Like, what happened? So it was so fun, though, and I got to meet such wonderful people on all those shows.
Do you have a favorite spot of the country now that because you've been all over the place? Like, you've done the West Coast thing, right?
I haven't really done a lot of the West Coast stuff. So Meg's been primarily over the West Coast. So I've been doing lots of Northeast. We did Florida.
You did Dewey Beach, Delaware.
Hell yeah. That's right.
I
saw your mom. Yeah, absolutely. She's such a sweetheart. We had a blast. I tried to get that picture.
It was just, which I was like, that's perfect. That summarizes the evening perfectly, I'm sure. They said they had a great time watching you and stuff.
Oh, thank
and that was
you.
an Ashley show, right?
Yes. Yeah. What was I saying?
Did you do? You said you've done like Florida.
Oh yes,
you
said favorite part of the country.
Yeah,
I got distracted thinking about that terrible photo. It's just like the top of my forehead.
Iconic photo. It was perfect. Just what we need.
Okay. So I think of all the gigs that I did, I loved Tarrytown, New York.
Really? So that is.
It was so cute.
So that is the closest. So I grew up 15 minutes from there.
No way.
Yeah, I grew up in Rockland County, so where the Tappan Zee Bridge is. In Tarrytown, I'm just on the other side of that bridge. So whenever I would go into the city, and I've driven in the city plenty, I've paid the $50-something in tolls for parking and all that bullshit. But like when I go to like a Yankee game or something, I go into the city, I drive across, because I'm literally probably 3 miles from that bridge on the other side. So Tarrytown's like 15 minutes away from me. And so what you do is you drive over the bridge, you park, and then you just take the train in, and they run all night going from the city to Tarrytown, because it's just going along the river line. They have a train stop at Yankee Stadium, a train stop at Madison Square Garden, Grand Central Station.
Oh, that's awesome! I'm so jealous.
So Tarrytown, I haven't like gone out. I've gone out in White Plains and like some other areas around there. I haven't gone out in Tarrytown, but I know there's like a lot of history with like Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow, like that section of
Apparently
New York.
They're known for Halloween.
Yes. Yeah, the Headless Horseman and all that shit.
Yeah, wild.
Pumpkins where heads should be and weird shit like that.
Pumpkins where heads should be.
I want to smoke what they were smoking back then.
No doubt. Yeah, so I loved Tarrytown. I also loved Virginia, Charlottesville.
Charlottesville's a great town.
I had never been.
Home of our boy Grady Smith.
Oh yeah.
I kind of took. Was that at the Jefferson?
No, it was at the Paramount Theater.
Oh, the Paramount. Oh, sick.
Yeah.
A lot of theater gigs, right? On these tours.
Morgan was primarily theaters. I did one theater with Ashley, I think, and then a couple little like clubs, and then I think Paul was mostly clubs.
Yeah, Paul strikes me as more of a club kind of act. It's funny, like, because like when my experiences with touring, like mostly with Muscadine and with Trey Lewis, Trey was a lot of clubs. Trey's clubs and bars, mud parks, like that style of things.
Yeah.
Muscadine was always, when I was with them before COVID, was like the club and bar scene that Trey's on right now, but then recently have transitioned more to theaters.
Yeah.
And theaters are cool because you know you're going to have phenomenal sound. You know you're going to have a cool green room. You know the stage is going to be, you're not worried about setting up your shit in front of the headliner shit.
Right.
Like there's so much room up there. Like, and you get to experience the different vibes and stuff. That's great experience for you, especially this early in your career with touring. Like, you're really getting to do it all.
Totally. And the Morgan tour was acoustic. So I was solo acoustic, and she played duo with her guitar player Clint, who's just awesome. I just loved their whole team. But
did you do any Peachtree dates? Like, did you do like the Rick's Cafes and like those like southeastern ones?
So I had a Rick's Cafe date that was supposed to be in May, and then it got moved to August. So we're going again. I'm hopping back on a weekend run with Morgan in August.
Oh, sick. And then is that Oxford too?
It's
the Lyric?
Oxford and then Maryville, Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, and the last one, Maryville, is going to be full band. So
sick.
It'll just be me and my guitar player, Greg, and then for 2 dates, and then the band's going to join us for that last
Talk about
one.
Greg a little bit, because Greg is someone that I've seen playing alongside you.
Yeah.
Like before COVID, like for years. Like he just seems to be like a day one believer and a collaborator for you. Like, how did you guys get linked up? Because I know he's in the trenches with you doing a lot.
He totally is.
Doing all this stuff.
Yeah, we've been playing together for like 2 years now, which kind of just flew by. But we met through, I booked a Green Hall gig a couple years ago, and I was so excited, and they booked it duo. And so I was kind of scrambling to find a player, and I put on one of the Facebook, like, Nashville musicians pages, like, seeking guitar player to come play Texas,
Seeking guitar player.
I probably didn't say that, because it actually got responses. So I definitely didn't say it like that. Seeking
guitar player.
God,
knows 3 chords and the truth.
I'm going to be reliving that the whole way home. But so I put on Facebook, and then I got all these responses. It was overwhelming because everyone is looking for work and wants to play. And there were 30-something responses. And I was just like, how am I supposed to go through this list and understand who's going to be a good fit for this job? Like, we have to drive 10 hours in the car together. Yeah. So I get a call from Dylan Rockoff. Do you know Dylan?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and him and Greg were living together at the time, and Greg had commented on my post, and Dylan was just like, hey, if you're like overwhelmed by this post, I just want to put a word in for my boy Greg. I think y'all would be a great fit. And we did like 1 or 2 rehearsals to get to know each other, and I was like, oh, he's a perfect fit. I mean, where our taste overlines is super interesting. You know, he comes from like a jazz background. That's what he has his degree in, is jazz guitar. And I come primarily from, obviously, Texas music, Texas songwriting. But we meet in the middle with Carole King and Remy Wolf and like a bunch of these kind of soul-influenced music.
Yeah.
And so our taste overlaps there. So I think it's actually a really interesting combination.
So you guys spend a lot of time in the car together.
Yeah.
Like, who takes longer in Loves? Oh. I know you're stopping at Loves on the road.
Oh, yeah.
I know you're stopping. Maybe not in the Northeast, because we don't have Loves up there.
I think I probably take longer because I'm always looking for some dumb shit to buy. Like,
what do you mean by dumb shit? Like little like mementos? Like
no, like those ridiculous sunglasses. And like, I always come out with like something new.
You're that one on the road.
Yeah, and we're about to lose our fucking minds on this like 13-hour drive. Like, I'm going to come out wearing a funny hat or something.
Yeah, I've gotten like the weird trucker hats. I've gotten the skull ashtrays.
Oh,
like the skulls that are like the top of like the ashtray. I've gotten those. And then I'm trying to think. I mean, like, I'm a big peanut M&Ms guy.
Oh, sure.
I'm always getting those. And then Loves, I mean, you eat so much Subway being out there. Subway, Hardee's, Arby's. You can just it's so easy to eat like a trash can on the road.
Yeah, it really is.
Those pre-made salads just don't look as appetizing.
Well, and then you're just
apples.
sitting in the car for a while. Like you're just like stationary in the car. Like
what are you guys driving around in?
the old RAV4.
Hey, RAV4 is not bad.
Yeah, she gets us there.
She's better than a sedan.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not like about the same gas, but just having a little bit more space.
Yes.
The RAV4, because a sedan, you're like, you can be packed in there.
And I'm thinking I'm going to have to trade it in soon because I want to be able to take like 5 players out, and I just don't feel right squeezing my piano player in that middle seat.
And then where are you putting? Then you're just sticking the gear just in the trunk and just making it fit?
As of right now, yeah, but I think it's, as the full band gigs come in, we'll have to figure out a trailer or some shit. I don't know.
What we're thinking about doing with Raised Rowdy is, because I've got a Tacoma, but it's the short bed Tacoma. It gets the job. It's able to fit quite a bit of stuff. But like when it comes to like the merch grids and like the big tents, because when we set up our campground area, we have like a 16 by 8 tent, like a big canopy.
Yeah.
We're tent camping out there. Like we're setting up, we have like a whole little village. Like
You're
all
doing
these
it right, yeah.
All this shit. I mean, it's Nikki T. He's a professional partier. Love you, Nikki T. But Nick's driving like a Hyundai Sonata, like 2012. He wants to trade it and get a minivan or get like one of them Ford Transit vans. But what we're going to do is we're going to get it wrapped and we're going to put in the windows, like, because the raccoon is like our thing, trash panda. We're going to put like raccoons sitting in car seats and stuff. So it's like the passengers are like, or like it's like a picture of like Nikki and I, and then like the babies are like the raccoons.
That
and
is
those are
awesome.
like our little like varmint that are on the road with us.
I cannot wait for that. That's incredible.
Because like that's the thing. It's like we are like the trash pandas, We're like we're a little
I
rough
love
around the
it.
edge. We look all cute and stuff, but if you fuck with us, we're gonna get you.
Please put that on the back of the van.
Yeah, and we scavenge for good music. Like we
Yeah.
go in the trenches and go to the rounds and dig through the different playlists and stuff. And playlisting's got to be interesting for you too now. Like it's just where your music has gone since we last sat down and did one of these, to where you're on some pretty big Spotify playlists. You're on the road with people that you've looked up to and getting to play some, like you did the Roxy show with Lainey, right?
Yeah, Coca-Cola
And
Roxy.
then you just did something at Brooklyn Bowl not too long ago,
Yep,
right?
with Lainey as well,
With Lainey. And then did I see a Red Rock State?
You saw a Red Rock State.
A fucking Red Rock State for fucking Harper Neill. Let's fucking go, girl. Let's go.
I know, I'm so
God
excited.
damn. How did that one come to be? And who's the agent? Plug your agent that's
I
helping
will.
out with all
I
this
love
stuff.
her to pieces. Haley Riddle at WME. She's just an incredible person to be around. We have so much fun, and she seems to really believe in the music and the rest of the team that I've been able to put together. And she's just working her ass off, and she's fighting for me because
I'd say that with all the fucking dates you've got.
I know. There's just endless competition for those slots, and she's been able to make some incredible things happen.
Yeah, and I think she's pairing you with the right people to get you in front of the right crowds, and then building up to these Red Rocks plays, to the Roxy with Lainey. Like and I think so much of it speaks to you and your character. Like you're a vibe and great to hang out with, and which is always a huge thing too, because you never know if you're bringing someone out on the road. Because with Trey and Muscadine, like we've had different openers out, and they haven't been the right fit with whichever crew it was,
right.
Or like the headliner didn't, or if we were the openers, the headliner was a weird fit for us,
right.
like where we were like, what are we doing here with this guy? Like it's a very different vibe, but it seems like everything's getting paired up so nicely with what your vibe is.
She definitely gets it. And I think that's also just because we get along so well.
Yeah.
But what I love about what she's doing is I think the music, I believe it to be country music. One of my favorite things about it is I'll send it home and like friends and family will be like, I'm so glad you didn't make a country record. And some people will be like, I'm so glad you made a country record. So it's funny to see how other people interpret it. I believe it's a country record.
I do too.
She believes it's a country record, but she is capitalizing on when it makes sense to step out into some other world. So I have an opening date for Devin Gilfillian in July.
I saw that. That's down in Montgomery.
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, the home of Sweet Boy. That's like his home neck of the woods.
So I'm just excited. She seems to like really be, my whole team understands that there's a lot of places this music can live.
Yeah.
And that's one of my dreams is to diversify, who I can open for and what scenes I can be involved in.
Yeah, someone asks you what is what genre are you in? Because I feel like you're one of those people where you dip into a few genres, which is what makes you so unique and special.
Right.
And what makes 2023 music in general is great. Like
Yep.
you have the big heavy hitters like Wallen and fucking Luke Combs crossing over to pop. And then
Yeah.
you have folks crossing over to hip hop and rock and soul and
There are no rules anymore.
none at all. None at all. I mean, it's so where would you say, I mean, you say like it's country, but like what would you say like the vibe is? Someone asks you, what is a Harper O'Neill? What is Harper O'Neill music? What does it sound like?
I'm so glad you asked, and it's the perfect time for me to take a sip of my whiskey.
Hey, there you go. Whiskey glasses, fixing it.
So I coined a term for the music, and I call it nightcap country.
Nightcap country. Okay.
Because I thought about it, and I'm like, when would you kind of show someone this music? And I believe that it's like when the parties died down, you're just with your homies, you're with your besties, and you're like, you got to check this stuff out. You're having a little nightcap to end the evening, and you jam a couple of the tunes. It's fun, but it's not like go, go, go music. It's really relaxed and chill. And it's still country, but it's kind of got like a little smoky vibe to it, you know?
Smoky's a really good way to put it.
And it's got blues influences and kind of wind down the night vibes. So I've called it nightcap country.
Yeah, and it's funny because you went to college in Austin, right?
Yeah.
So it's very much, to me, it reminds me of Austin, and it reminds me of like East Nashville, where there is that country influence, but there's other stuff thrown in there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It feels like a late night at Duke's.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like a late night at Crime Wolf, or a late night at Tin Roof, or Neighbors Sylvan Park, or like
Yep.
post Peach Jam after the
Yes,
basement.
it's
you know,
post-Peach Jam,
it's post Peach Jam music. Like it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of fun.
So that's kind of how I've been rocking with it. But yeah, I don't know, nightcap country.
Nightcap
That's what I got
country.
for
Do we
you.
have that on a T-shirt yet?
I got it on a koozie.
Got it on
'cause
a
I thought it'd
koozie.
be-
Okay. We'll definitely be repping some nightcap country
Yes,
over
absolutely.
here. So what have you got as far as like? Because I know you've been putting quite a bit out. Do we have a bigger thing in store? What can we say? I don't want to get you in trouble with management. I know we're not on a label or anything right now, are we?
No, we're
Okay.
not on a label. I think we've committed to releasing this first group of songs independently. Because I think what's cool is to see how everybody reacts to it, you know, before we get a big label partner involved or somebody who has an idea of what it should be. We're kind of seeing what it could be.
Yeah.
I mean, just even with this last release, it's called When You Love Me. We referenced a live recording of Valerie by Amy Winehouse. It's got that chunky piano at the beginning. It's kind of old soul vibes. And it got playlisted on Texas Country Now. It might be my least like red dirt song I have, but I'm seeing that some of these playlists are expanding to incorporate this music where I think it belongs. It is, I'm from Texas. I make
Yep.
Texas music. It's like, that's part of me. So it's been really interesting to expand that definition of my music on our own before we get people involved. But we are sitting on a whole pile of songs, and we will be releasing like steadily over the summer.
And who's producing your stuff right now?
So my buddy Jake Gear has
Okay.
produced all of the songs that I've done so far.
He's married to Haley Witters, right?
Yes, and he produces her. He produced the last Flatland Cavalry and Ben Chapman's first record.
No shit.
So, and we had just such a great time. Logan Matheny did our audio engineering and mixing. We really put in the time, I think, to accumulate all of our influences that we thought it could be and really tear it apart and see what was left. I mean, he had never done anything with horns before, neither had I. So
The horns thing in country is so fucking cool, and I think that I credit your crew for doing that.
Yeah.
with yourself and Ben and fucking Meg and other folks in that realm. Like,
Yeah.
It's like we listened to jam band music growing up. We listened to we listened to Littlefoot, and we listened to like different shit, but we also listen to country music too.
Yeah.
It's so cool to hear that influence.
yeah, you can play country music with all sorts of
You really can.
instruments. Like
Yeah.
it's really the heart of it is what makes it country, in my opinion. There's a great Flatland song about that. Country
Yeah.
is what country means
Yes,
to you.
and I love the Flatland guys. Cleto and those dudes are.
And Caitlin Butts
awesome.
is killing it right now too. She's crushing it.
Caitlin's killing it. Colby Acuff, Keller Cox, all the guys that are and girls that are under that kind of tree. Have you done shows with Flatland? Have you been out with them?
I've not done any shows with Flatland. I've seen their show a couple times though, and it's awesome.
It's fun.
I mean, all of those guys are so talented, and they do a great job, in my opinion, of showcasing each other's talent. You know,
Wes on the fiddle.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And they're just they're the nicest guys. Yeah, yes, they're just really, really kind.
They are. Like, I'm really tight with Kurt Ozon from he's in our Raised Rowdy family, does the podcast with Nikki, and we'll get like a selfie from him, and it's like him and Colby Acuff and Cleto, and it's just them having the most East Nashville musician morning. They're like, we're stoned, just riding bikes, and it's just they're riding bikes to get a vegan breakfast and drink coffee, and they're just living. They're just vibing, you know. Which to me, it's just there's just this vibing feel within country music right now that's just awesome. Yeah, a lot of fun.
I did want to tell you.
Yeah, what you got?
That I wanted to say thank you, because after our last podcast, I ended up getting hooked up with Jody Williams Songs for publishing, and he said that a huge reason that he ended up wanting to work with me is he heard me on your podcast.
No shit.
And he just loved the music.
Jody Williams, it's an honor that you watch and listen to me bullshit on here. I really appreciate that. So when was that? That was in 21 or was that 22?
So we recorded in 21, and then 22, he found me on TikTok, which I'm not even on TikTok.
Of all the places to find you.
I know.
Of all the places, not a showcase at the basement. Not like I would pick Instagram over TikTok for discovery of Harper O'Neill.
I know, especially I had like 3 videos maybe, and I had put this video up.
Which song was it?
It was You Don't Love Me, that kind of rowdy one.
Fucking love that.
And everyone at the time was really pushing, like, you got to get involved on TikTok, and I think a reason TikTok gets a lot of hate is it's just another platform that we have to discover our voice on, which is just overwhelming. You know, we kind of all just got the hang of Instagram. We're like, okay, this is how I present on this app and whatever. And so TikTok is just like another homework assignment. Yeah. So I started just throwing random shit up there. Like, I was just like, I'm going to trial and error, figure out what I do on this app. Yeah. And so I'm in like a bathrobe with like no makeup on. My hair looks awful. And I've got this little guitar, and I just was fucking around, playing this song, and I just threw it up there. And of course that video gets like 80,000 views. And I'm just like, oh my God.
I think they like the stripped down thing. Yeah. They really like the stripped down, intimate kind of vibe over the overproduced, slightly cringy thing. Now, the cringy thing works for a lot of people. It's not my favorite, but like you see people do, like, there's certain folks that'll use the same hook of a song and it just gets cringy. You're like, I don't want to be on this app because of that. But then like an intimate, stripped down video of you not all dolled up, of you not paying someone to record it and video it or do this whole shoot. That seems to be the thing that works because it's real, and that your voice, being its raw, powerful voice, it showcases in that.
Yeah, and I think I found that that's what works for me. But I have only love for everybody on that app doing what. Yeah,
it's whatever works for you.
Whatever works for you, because it's so intimidating too to put yourself out there and try something new. I mean, like, whatever works, keep doing it.
Yeah. So how does that initial conversation with Mr. Jody go?
Oh man, it was a whirlwind. So he found my my TikTok, and then I think when he tells the story, he's like, "Oh, I assumed she was like in Australia or something," and then I made a couple calls and realized that you live like 2 minutes away, like down the road. Yeah. And he found me on like a Thursday or a Friday. I met with him on a Monday, and he signed me right there.
Wow.
I played a couple of songs. I mean, and it's truly been the best fit. I feel like he's the perfect champion for what I do, and I've gotten so much better working with his writers and working with his team, like Nina in Tennessee over at Jody Williams. I mean, like, they've completely elevated what I kind of brought to the table originally without changing it. Like, they just have never asked me to do anything other than what I do.
Yeah, because they signed Harper O'Neill. They want Harper O'Neill. They don't want you to be someone else. They want you to be you, which is great, because not every place is like that.
And it's so hard to do. I mean, on their side of things, to not like want to nudge me in, if they have an inkling of maybe what's working and what's not. Oh my God, my mom's going to kill me. I've had my hair tie on my wrist this whole time.
Why is she going to kill you?
Because doesn't look. Sorry, Mom.
I'm wearing a raccoon t-shirt. I got my you're good.
But anyway.
We love you, Mama.
We love you, Mom.
We love you, Mama.
Sorry about that. So, I don't know. They've just been incredible champions. Like, they totally turned my world upside down. I mean, when they found me, I just really didn't know what I was doing. And it kind of seemed all at that time. Then I started working with Jake, and then I got connected with Jody Williams, and now we're here, and the tours have been coming in. It's just been a wild year and a half.
Yeah, who else is over there at Jody? Was it Andy Austin?
Andy Austin, incredible.
Who's fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
And I love what the Old Hickory boys do.
It's so good.
They've had a few different names and kind of alternated in that whole crew of the trio thing. But I think right now, Andy, Dan, and Timothy are fucking fantastic.
They sound so good together. Yeah. It's insane.
And I can't wait for them to have their blow up moment and them to go out on tour.
Yeah,
because there's been a gap when it comes to trio like that is 90s.
Which talk about country music.
Yes.
I mean, like that is we've been missing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So have you, since signing the pub deal, have you found it? Has it been like kind of different writing with new people, or are you still writing with a lot of your same crew, or how does that kind of work? Because you've had like a crew of guys and girls that you've been writing with for years now here, that you've gotten great songs with, and that songs that they've cut and songs that you've cut and all that. So what's it been like kind of writing with different folks, or writing with folks that are the quote unquote established people in the room?
So it's been fun and different. I mean, I will always love writing with the OG homies, but like we talked about earlier, everyone's really busy. So it feels like when I'm gone, then I get back, and then Meg's gone, and then like Tyler's always in Texas, and Ben's always in a club somewhere, like melting faces. So we don't get the chance to work together quite as much as we used to, but certainly when we do, it's still very magical and fun. But I've definitely taken some new collaborators like into the circle. Jason Nix. We
Fantastic.
have so much fun writing together. He has such a soulful voice and a soulful background. Like I think we have a lot of the same influences, and he knows like every chord that's ever been created. So I don't even have to think about that kind of stuff, which I don't mind doing, but he does it better. So Jason Nix is one of them. Jay Bayer, I don't know if you know him, but we've just been getting some awesome stuff, and there's tons of others that I can't think of.
Are you writing right now as the artist in the room, or are you still kind of writing as like the songwriter too? Because that's a whole different thing too. Now you're an artist with a publishing deal. You're becoming the artist in the room, as opposed to one of three young writers writing with your friends.
Yeah, I mean, there's usually a different vibe, and I always love to understand who we're writing for before I go into a room.
Yeah,
but I think we can all agree at this point, everybody's just trying to get a good song.
Yeah.
So I try not to focus too much about, is this for me or is this for someone else? If it's a good song and it fits my, vocabulary of what I believe in and what I think and say and want to make in the world, then maybe it's a Harper song. But if not, it's just a good song, then, hopefully it gets pitched and cut and, sees the light of day. Because at this point, we write so many songs.
Yeah.
So I think I've gotten less precious about this one's for me, this one's for you. And I'm starting to look at songs more in a group. Do these songs serve each other? Do they make sense together? What story are they telling when they're next to each other, as opposed to like, I need one good song.
Yeah.
So it's been a learning curve, a new thing.
Yeah. And how long have you been in town now?
It will be 5 years in July.
No shit. So you were just before me, because I'll be 5 years in October.
Oh, wow.
So isn't it crazy now? Like 5 years. Like, what were you doing? You remember what you were doing when you first moved to town? You were doing the Creative Vets thing, right?
So I was still working. I'm still involved with Creative Vets. I love Creative Vets.
You still are now?
Yes.
Oh fuck yeah.
Oh yeah.
They were at because we saw Jesse Taylor, and
love him.
They were right across from us in the vendor area at Tailgate and Tall Boys.
Oh cool.
They had the big camper there and the tent and like the little like pop up like step and repeat thing. So
yeah.
They were doing their work up there this weekend. Which
Richard
was cool.
Casper's like one of the only reasons I ever moved here. I got a call from him randomly that was like, you need to move to Nashville, and so I any chance I get to like help his organization when it works out with all of our schedules and everything, it's one of my favorite things to do.
So what are you doing with them and like in this capacity now? Like just going like just helping with the process of writing with vets or like doing
I usually write with female veterans. So like, when he needs, usually they pair like women with women and men with men. So anytime they're doing it at the Opry now, like backstage, and they've really elevated this program to be even more special than it already was.
How cool of an experience to give a veteran to write with folks that do it for a living at the Grand Ole Opry. How crazy is that?
I'm not even joking around. The honor is truly all ours. Like to hear their stories and to like be in the room with them and listen. There's not one single one of them that hasn't really truly changed me. So it's so fun for them to be at the Opry, but it is so fun for me to be with them. So
that's awesome.
But when I moved to town, I was still working that financial services job.
That's right.
Yeah, so I did that for like 3 or 4 years.
Harper the suit.
That's right, in her cubicle, but not really. I did it remotely.
You did it remotely.
I was in a cube for a minute.
Did you have like your cube decorated and stuff?
No.
You didn't hang up anything in there? You didn't have like a calendar?
I didn't want to be in a cube, so I did not.
Like I had one like at the radio station I was working at. It was a shared one, but I just had like some like nonsense hanging up there. I had like a little basketball hoop.
Okay, that's cool.
I had like just little like stupid shit that a 21-year-old working at a radio station would have.
Well, yeah, that sounds like fun though.
It's a radio station. You do it because you love it. You don't do it to make money. You know.
So true.
Have you done like radio tour stuff yet? Like, have you done the radio interview thing?
No,
yet?
I've not tried that yet. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen.
Because that stuff I hear gets exhausting. Because you're just going around, just meeting with different radio
probably
people
having the same exact conversation.
And that's why I like doing the podcast stuff now. Because when I was doing the radio stuff, it was. So what are your influences? So how long have you been doing this?
It's very rigid.
You could actually have a real fucking conversation.
I know. I feel like we're just hanging out, catching up.
Which is good that we're catching up. Like I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. I probably haven't seen you since Revival.
Yeah, probably.
How do you like the new spot?
I personally love it because it's like walking distance from my home.
Oh, you're a Nations girl. Okay, yeah, easy. So
with the little wristband, just have a couple beers and walk myself home.
Yeah, Rockindo's a cool spot.
Yeah,
and I'm very, very tough on pizza. I'm very hard on pizza.
Of course.
I like their pizza a lot.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. It's a great bar pizza. I don't drink anymore, but they have a ton of beer options in there. It's a cool. To me, it's never like back in the day. Like before COVID, Revival was just a special thing when it was facing the way it was supposed to be facing in Tin Roof, and it was that vibe. But I think Rockindo appreciates it. Like the folks over there appreciate Revival for what it is, and it's giving Rob and giving kids that move to town, because there are so many kids that have moved to town here in the last year or two. Nikki T and I will tell them, like, especially when Rob was bringing Revival back, we were like, "Hey, you're a Revival kid. Come out, come out like next Wednesday." Because to me, the Revival kid is someone that's little left of center, someone who's very true, who's not writing quote unquote cookie cutter stuff. Not there's anything wrong with cookie cutter stuff, but like just someone who's more in that kind of artist thing, who maybe feels like a little bit of like a misfit toy going to Broadway, or going to like hanging out at Red Door with the cool kids.
Right.
And I feel like Revival's always been such a community for kids that move to town.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that it's back.
Oh, me too. I played it recently, at the new location. And to your point, I just saw so many like young singer-songwriters, and that it made me so happy, because it gave so much to my experience first moving here. It's brought me some of my best friends, some of my best songs, some of my best nights. And to see that that's now going to be an opportunity and an option for, like you said, kids who kind of just gravitate towards that style of music. It's just super special to see that there's going to be like another class of it, and they're going to be badass and awesome, and it will continue on. Yeah,
to me, there's like some kids like Sam Stone, Zach Top, Aiden Canfield. There's this kid, Landon Smith, that's coming up out of Georgia right now. And all of them. And it's been cool that we kind of, harbor them as well at
Yeah.
Live Oak. Maybe harbor's not the right word, but we use them. We have them play on Sundays and play on Tuesdays at Live Oak when we're doing Rowdy on the Road.
Right.
Now I'm called outside the round instead of in the round.
Right.
You know, I flip-flopped it a little bit, but it is cool to see that scene have somewhere to live, because it felt weird to not have Revival at Tin Roof on a Tuesday.
It was weird.
And especially as the guy that hosts Up the Street on Tuesdays, I always looked forward to having that. And just our whole goal was to just have Demumbrian be as busy as it could possibly be.
Oh, yeah.
And have folks play. Like, there were so many times where I'd have you or Vinny. I'd have Vinny play, and then he'd go down and host at Tin Roof.
Yes.
He'd play the opening round he'd play the first round at Live Oak and then go and host at Tin Roof for 4 hours.
Oh, my God.
And we'd have Colin play, and we'd have you play, and we'd have Nate play, and we'd have Ben and Meg, and we'd have Tyler, and we'd have like Becca Ray. We'd have like so many folks in that crew.
Yeah.
And during COVID especially, it was really cool to watch that scene kind of grow and like be a part of that.
Totally.
It was a lot
I'm
of
glad
fun.
it's back. It's having a second wind.
Yeah. So what else is the rest of, like, I haven't seen Nate in a while. I know he's out on the road heavily, right?
Yes, he's crushing it. So he's Nate Frederick in the Wholesome Boys now.
I saw that he changed the name.
And he's got a rockin' band, the Wholesome Boys.
Yeah.
They're the kindest, coolest, most talented guys. They're such a great fit for each other. And I think they've expanded kind of what his music sounds like. And I'm so proud of him. He's just been really, really hustling.
He's out with Muscadine right now, I think,
Yeah.
on the West Coast, which who would have thought Nate would be in Cali and that
Hell
Gary
yeah.
and Charlie would be in Cali. Look at that shit
I know.
going.
It's incredible. But it's been fun too, because now that we're all kind of on the road, I've seen my friends more on the road than I see them here. So
Really?
Oh yeah, when I was out with Morgan, Gabe Lee came by to a show because he was in
sick.
North Carolina or something. Nate came by because he was in Washington D.C. And so it's been fun to kind of run into each other out in the wild, you know, and support each other that way. So, but Nate's crushing it, man. I love all his new music. I've got a cut on his last little EP that he put out.
Hell yeah.
And I'm so proud of him. He's
Yeah,
been great.
his record that he had put out, when was that? Was that in 2020 or
2020, right before the world shut down.
Yep. Yeah, I remember when that record came out, and he played Paducah was one of my favorite songs off that.
Thank you.
And I always because whenever we'll go up through Kentucky and you go through Paducah, it pops in my head, west on through Paducah. I can't tell if I'm heading home or and those records that came out in like Tyler's stuff,
Yep.
your stuff you started putting out, Ben and Meg's stuff, like I remember those days of COVID. Those were some of my favorite songs to come out of that era, because everybody had the time to sit and just write. There wasn't other shit to do.
Well, I always love too, like with Tyler's stuff right now, Mac Miller, I think is his most streamed song. It's like, it's through the roof.
It passed Beer Garden Baby. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was the first song that he and I ever wrote together
Really?
with Meg and Reagan Rousseau. So it was the first time I think we ever met. And we wrote
shit.
this song, and now it's having so many lives after that one day that we wrote this song.
Yeah,
you know?
At his shows, people are belting
Screaming
it
the
back.
words, yeah.
And I love that. And again, I think such a big part of doing this music thing is finding who you are as an artist. Like Lainey Wilson now, Bell Bottom Country. She's found her thing that resonates with people. Her the version of herself, that who she really is and all that. Like Ben and Meg have their thing. You have your vibe. Tyler's Western and marijuana music.
Oh yeah,
it's going over very well.
It
and
is.
There was not a place in country music where they were talking about marijuana. Like it was kind of taboo for a while.
Yeah.
So it's really,
especially think about in Texas. I mean, like that's
But I feel like there's this vibe right now, and you kind of fit this too, where it's in the outlaw vein, that it's kind of against the grain, but it's not like violent outlaw. It's more just like, hey, we're doing it our own way kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like more like a rebel kid kind of thing. And I feel like there is that vibe you see that with a Morgan Wade, you see that with a Paul Cawthon, you see it with a Joshua Ray Walker,
right.
You see it with a Charlie Crockett. Like you see different vibes going on, coming out of like Texas and the Red Dirt scene. So for you, do you identify more with like that stuff, or do you identify more with Nashville, or do you think there's really doesn't matter anymore? It's just all blended together.
Gosh, I really don't think it matters anymore. I think, to speak to something you said earlier, as long as you're being authentic to where you're at, people will presumably enjoy it more than if you're just trying to shove it down their throat. Like, I think Tyler's really authentic. That's who he is. Yeah. Meg is really authentic. That's who she is. Ben, authentic. Like, I like to think that the vibe of my music matches like the vibe of my personality.
It is you. Yes.
And so I think into answering your question about do you identify more with Texas or with Nashville, I think there might be a time later in my career where I do make something that's like a little bit more rooted in traditional like Texas music, or maybe I'll go completely the other direction. Like, it kind of depends on where my life goes. I think this record specifically, I feel is Texas to me, but I don't know.
What makes you say that? Is it the storytelling of it? Is it where you're at emotionally, where you're feeling more like talking about home, like pre-Nashville?
I think it's because I don't know if there are any real like Nashville hooks in any of the songs that I've been releasing. If that makes sense. I think the songwriting style is a little bit more what I would think a Texas artist might do. Okay. If that makes sense.
Yeah, like the stuff that you're putting out now, like Guilty would fall under that. And
I think so. I don't know though. We'll see, I guess. Maybe it's more I don't know.
Because I feel like the Nashville sound has changed a lot too.
That's true. And like the songwriting's changed.
And right now in country, it's like you've got, and Colby we had a cigar hang not too long ago with Colby Acuff, and he kind of said that like right now there's like two, and there's like a third popping up like within country music. It's like you've got your Combs lane, you've got like your Wallen more pop kind of thing, and then you've got this like angsty like sad boy, sad girl shit under the Zach Bryan lane.
Yeah.
And it's like you've got these different things coming up within country music to where, to me, it reminds me of, and I said it on a podcast recently, we had Wyatt Flores on recently, and Wyatt's become a good buddy and fits under that Zach Bryan kind of, I mean, sad, you can say sad, but it's also just real. Like, I think your music's very real.
Oh, thank you.
Ben and Meg, very real. Like, where it's singing about, like, a real place. Like, singing about, like, even Tyler's, like, Mac Miller. Like, the shit you guys were writing and putting out a few years ago is singing about shit that we can all relate to. Like, being dumb kids and going out and doing our thing and having those flings and all that shit. But, like, it reminds me right now what Nashville and country music kind of going through. It reminds me of, like, in the 80s and 90s, you had, like, hair metal, and you had, like, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And then in the 90s, it turned into grunge and, like, drugs and angst. And people talked about, like, the sad time coming out of, like, the Reagan era and all that. Now we're coming out of COVID, and it's, like, it went from, like, bro country being, like, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll to all the happy shit about being in the country world, and Daisy Dukes and girls and boots and trucks and this and that and all this, like, stuff that's not fully the reality of growing up in a small town or growing up in the country. And now we're getting the other side of that.
The deeper story.
The real shit. Yeah. It's not all roses, you know?
Well, it's just people living their lives that are very complicated, just like anything.
Yeah, because there is a lot of that. And I feel like that comes through in some of y'all's stuff, especially. Like, y'all are singing from real places, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's been fun to see. I mean, you're right. There has been a movement to some depth and some like poetry, like just really showcasing all sides of it. Yeah,
and Morgan Wade and Lainey
she's got
and
some
Ashley,
real lyrics. Yeah,
they all fit under that too.
Yeah.
You know, and so for you, where do you think you're at right now, like your chapter of life compared to where we were last time we did this, like almost 2 years ago?
Oh my
gosh.
gosh.
How is life for you? Because you're what? We're about the same age, right? You're like 27, 28?
Yeah.
Yeah? Did I get that right? Was I off?
I'm 29.
You're 29. Okay.
I was going to lie, though.
So you're 90. So you have
94.
Okay, so you're 94. I'm 95. So we're still under 30. We're doing good. We're both thriving in our 20s.
I'm going to be 29 for 5 more years, I think.
Yes, yeah. That's what my grandma does. She does the anniversary of her 39th birthday. So I think right now she's at the 37th anniversary
good
of
for
her 39th birthday.
Good for her.
She has us write that on the cake and everything. But how is life for you right now?
You know, it's great. I mean, so many of my dreams have come true since we last spoke. I mean, just with building this team that I have, getting this music recorded, and starting to tour and everything. It's truly been I just never really expected it. Really, I just kept dreaming bigger and working hard at one of the things I love that Lainey Wilson said recently at the award show, the ACMs, was if you're gonna be a dreamer, you got to be a doer. And so that's just really been something I've been thinking about a lot. It's okay to dream big as long as you keep working hard. And at the beginning of this year, I stayed in on New Year's Eve. I know, crazy.
Really?
And I made
What'd you do?
vision board.
Oh, look at you.
I got real witchy with it.
Okay.
And I put some freaking crazy shit on there. Red Rocks was on there. Brooklyn Bowl with Lainey Wilson was on there. Like some crazy stuff that I just was like, there's no way. There's absolutely no way. I was able to write a song with Vince Gill this year.
Really?
And he was on my vision board.
No shit.
Yeah, like just crazy.
That's fucking wild,
I know.
girl.
And so I'm just now starting to realize the power of just admitting that you want to do these things and you want to work towards these things. And so as I'm looking ahead, I think I'm really thinking about what the next couple years, like what I want to be on that list. And maybe it's not all career stuff either, maybe it's personal stuff. And so I'm just learning how to dream bigger and being grateful for, the stuff that's happened in the last couple years.
You seem like just radiant energy right now.
Oh, good.
Like just happy as fuck.
I am.
Which
really am.
there's times that we're not all
and there
all
will
happy
be
and
again,
stuff.
I'll
that's how life works.
I'll definitely it's up and down,
So are the songs a little bit happier right now?
God,
you
no.
think? No, they're still sad as fuck.
Well, one of my new things that I've really enjoyed is so like When You Love Me, this last one I released, if you listen to the lyrics, it's like a dreadfully sad song. Like the hook is, it only hurts when you love me. Like it's very sad, but it's disguised in this kind of boppy, like really kind of upbeat tempo thing. And so you can kind of passively listen and really enjoy this happy tune, or you can dive in and hear kind of the depth of what the real experience is like.
The irony. The irony kind of thing of it.
And so I've really been thinking about that a lot, which is sad songs don't necessarily need to sound sad to be good. So I've just kind of been exploring that a little bit lately with my writing with, I don't even think they're all necessarily sad. I feel like it's just admitting that things are complicated.
Yeah.
And not shying away from that. To, like you said, just be like, oh, things are so good. Happy, happy, happy. Although I did have a conversation with Meg yesterday because she does something really great. She writes really good, happy songs. And I feel like writing good, happy songs is so hard to do. But like Mary Jane and Chardonnay.
Yes.
Great, happy song.
And that to me is one of the most Meg McCree songs of all time.
Oh, yeah. And Air Raid Tears all over that too.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I think it's just about leaning into what you do well. And she does that really well. So I'm trying to lean into what's been working for me. I mean, like, even the song Guilty, to me, it doesn't really sound happy. But it's a love song.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm only guilty of loving you.
Yeah, but it kind of feels like fraught. I don't know. It's just like an interesting vibe that I feel like I've curated.
Yep. Where are you at as far as like relationship stuff? Like getting real here for a second.
Oh.
Or are you so busy you don't even have time for that shit?
You know what?
I feel like that's the thing with a lot of artists. Like where you're so fucking, especially being on the road.
Yeah.
Being on the road and trying to have a healthy relationship with a significant other, even having good friendships is tough when you're gone all the fucking time.
Oh yeah, and you're not in the day-to-day of what's going on.
Yeah.
I'm single. And I might finally be ready to mingle. Who knows?
Look at you.
I know some growth is happening.
Where would the place be to mingle? Like, where's your spot in town?
I think it's just going to fall from the sky.
Well, you're not a Broadway girl.
God,
to me,
no.
you are the opposite.
No, I'm not.
Like, if you look up Broadway girl in the dictionary, like, you are the opposite. You're not the one that's going down there.
No. Definitely not, unless I have like friends or family in town. And
I feel like that's the excuse. McElwain doesn't need any excuse. He was down. I mean, he was playing down there last night, but he was out till like 2:30 in the morning. I think on Broadway. He was at the
called out.
At the
I love this.
Oh no, I mean, that's what we do. That's what Sweet Boy's here for. He's a Broadway boy for sure. And Trey Lewis is a Broadway boy too. I used to be one when I worked down there. But like, where's your spot that you like hanging out at?
Anywhere with a pool table.
Okay, so Lakeside.
Yep.
Lucky's over there. That's a very underrated spot.
I agree.
We were there for Ella Langley's release party when Country Boy Dream Girl came out, and like
she's
it was just
crushing it too.
She's like our little sister, man.
She's like on a fucking world tour. Like
she's doing some big fucking
unbelievable.
things. It's wild.
Awesome.
It's wild to watch what she's doing. But at Lucky's place, very underrated.
Oh, yeah.
And they got them good Chicago-style hot dogs.
Okay, I've not had one of the hot dogs.
The hot dogs are good.
But I have won a lot of games on that pool table.
Oh, so you're a pool shark. Like, you're good. You don't fuck around in pool.
No.
I think I've seen you play pool at Lakeside before. I think you were playing with Colin or with Dylan or somebody.
There's something about it, like, I become kind of a different person. Like, normally I really shy away from, like, confrontation. Like, I really try to just keep the peace and, like, do my thing. If I've got a couple drinks in me and somebody's trying to, like, cheat the game or, like, talk some shit, like, I swear I've almost been thrown out of Lakeside Lounge. I swear, like, at least 3 times.
Really?
Yeah, because I think people just assume that, like, girls don't really play pool or whatever, and I just come in, you know, just knock them all in. I'm talking a big game now. Somebody's gonna want to kick my ass.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do that. So, what do you prefer, red door east or main red door? Because the main red door is different now. It's not the same since. Have you been there recently?
I have, yeah.
It's not the same since they opened that shit up.
Yeah.
And I know they had their issues. They had a scary night there a few months ago.
They did.
So I get why it's like TSA when you walk in there, and I'm thankful for that. I mean. My stuff, I still am able to get in my vape and everything, but like.
I think for me, I'm gonna go neither, and I'm gonna say I'm either a Neighbor Sylvan Park girl or a Centennial in the Nations girl.
Centennial?
Oh, it's this little hole in the wall.
Where is Centennial?
It's like right across from the Frothy Monkey and 51st Deli, right behind Levert's Market.
Okay, I haven't been there yet. I've been to the Nations Bar and Grill. That place is a fun little shithole bar. Yeah. I love it. Big Rob Snyder brought us there after the first revival they had back, and it was like us. It was me and Nikki, Colby Acuff, Ashland, and then Rob, and I think Vinny. And Rob was just ordering rounds of wings for everyone.
Oh,
wings
my God.
wrapped in bacon.
Oh, wow.
It was wings something wrapped in bacon. You know, Big Rob's got all the good eats.
Oh, wow.
And the nation, but Centennial. So I got to check that spot out because I like the Nations a lot. I think that's going to be the new spot in town.
I'm telling you.
I really do, especially with the Mumbrian changing over the next few years.
Oh, yeah.
Which I don't know if you know all about that.
I think I know a little bit. Yeah.
We could talk about it off the cameras.
Off the
mic. But like, there's going to be some new spots I think popping up where live music's going to live, and I think the Nations is going to be one of them.
Well, they even there's like a Field House Tavern or whatever that's opening up right on 51st, and it's going to be like food and alcohol till 2 a.m., which we don't really have a spot like that over there. Like Centennial serves alcohol till 2 a.m., but there's going to be like a traditional sports bar.
What's the one across from the ice cream spot that's like the outdoor thing where the TVs are just playing all the fucking time?
That's like the barbecue spot. I forget what it's called.
Is that a barbecue spot?
But it's a barbecue spot.
I thought it was just a bar in the middle of the two streets that just had TVs
and
playing for the homeless people. Homeless guys can watch the Super Bowl and shit.
Yeah. No, it's barbecue. I've not had the barbecue yet, but I have enjoyed a picnic table there.
What area that you've gone to on the road has had the best food? Because something I've learned, and McElwain can say this too, because McElwain's been on the road with Trey for a long time. And whenever we would go somewhere, they'd be like, we're going to give you the best barbecue you ever had. And every venue that we go to has, allegedly, and some of it's like crock pot homemade shit. Some of them's cousin brother Daryl's pitmaster shit. Some of them's this, some of it's that. For you, what, in the different sections of the country that you've been, what's been like some of your favorite?
Well, I think Texas has the best barbecue, so I don't think I'll
I'm not even just talking about barbecue. I'm not even limiting it. Texas barbecue's great.
Yes.
There's something about getting some fresh beef from the stockyard. You can't get it fresher anywhere else. It's just how it is.
It's just how it is.
Sorry, Kansas City. That's just how it is.
I don't make the rules. I don't even follow them. But I think my mom came on the Morgan Wade tour with me.
Really?
Because it was solo acoustic.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to go by myself, and she wasn't working at the time, and I was like, do you want to like come with me? And so 10 days, just like me and my mom and the Rav.
That's great mother-daughter bonding, but you might have wanted to kill each other by the end. No,
we
not at all?
had so much fun. Like, I can't explain it. Like, people would like get in line and buy T-shirts and have my mom sign the T-shirts.
No
like,
shit. That's awesome.
We had so much fun. But when we were in upstate New York, we had a sandwich from some deli that changed my life. I don't even know what the deli was or what the sandwich was.
Remember where it was? Was it Jordan? Was that Kegg's Canal side, or was it Binghamton?
It was like right outside the Terrytown gig.
Oh.
Some like just like in a strip mall deli. Like, I don't even know what it was, but I don't know. It was the best sandwich I've ever had.
I appreciate you saying New York. That makes me feel real good.
It seriously unmatched. My mom and I still talk about that sandwich.
Have you been to New York City?
Yeah.
So
I got my luggage stolen there once.
What?
Yeah. Brutal.
When was this?
I was on tour. Greg was with me. I was on tour with Ward Davis. I was like opening a couple shows, and one of them was in New York City, and we like had the Rav there. And I
Remember what venue?
Well, the parking was terrible. They didn't have a parking.
No shit. It's New York. If you don't pay it, if you don't get a parking ticket in New York City, you haven't toured New York City.
So I got a parking ticket.
Yeah, there you go. So you toured New York.
And my luggage stolen out of my car.
Oh, they took the luggage and they gave you a ticket.
Yeah, they did a little 2-for-1.
Did you have Cat's Deli when you were there?
Ooh, I've had Cat's Deli before, but I don't think because after I got the parking ticket and my luggage stolen, I was like, we've got to get the fuck out of this city. So we drove all night to go to Pennsylvania where Greg lives, or his family lives, because I was like, I cannot be in this fucking city for one more second. That being said, I still love New York. It is a magical place. Every time I go back, I'm just like, you can steal my luggage and like.
I feel like your music would goes over well there too.
I'm so interested to see. I feel like it really could.
I think it will because
Chicago too. I feel like.
Yeah, Chicago fucks. I like Chicago a lot. Chicago in the summertime is one of the best places to be. There's something about having a nice Portillo sandwich, getting out of a dispensary, even though you pay 40% on the dollar.
The income tax. Yeah, not the income tax. The weed tax is awful.
I think it's down because when we were just up there, we went to a dispensary near where the festival was at, and it was like 35. I think it was at like 35%. So it's down 5%, but we still got a long way to go. The fact that the taxes are higher there on weed than they are in New York or Boston
or New Jersey,
which is one of the most tax states in the fucking world.
We stopped through New Jersey and we went to a dispensary and we got so much.
Yeah,
and we like Greg and I both looked at the receipt and we're like, wait, what? Because the last time we had bought together at a dispensary was in Chicago, and we were just like, holy shit, like I can't afford this.
Yeah, was that? Did you play Joe's on Weed when you were up there?
I did, yeah.
That plate, the deep dish pizza they have there.
Oh, I didn't try it.
They didn't bring you the pizza after?
No, I think I had a salad.
All right, Ed, that's on you, man. You gotta next time Harper and Greg come through, give them some pizza, give them a bottle of. Have you ever had Malort?
I don't think so.
Okay, Malort's rough. Malort's a delicacy.
Oh, it doesn't sound like one.
It's not. It's a Chicago-based thing. McElwain's had it before. Our guy, he's just like, the guys that used to be in Trey's band, they would drink it for fun. They'd be like, fuck it, we're in Chicago, we're gonna drink. It's like a vile thing, but you have to at least take one sip of it just to try it. I got sober before I ever went to Chicago. Okay. So I got lucky. I dodged the bullet.
You dodged the bullet.
They carry it at Red Door because Red Door is a Chicago-owned bar.
Is it
How would you describe it, Matt?
There's, I don't know, like really bitter. It's like, I'd say like kind of like dry. Like, I don't know, like it's awful.
I feel like I'm being
And he
punked.
drinks everything. He loves to drink. Like, McElwain is a drinker. So if he's saying he doesn't like it, like that tells you.
I've heard all I need to know. I will not be trying.
No, you gotta do one sip.
You gotta do it at least once.
If I see you at Red Door,
all right,
we're doing that, and then to make it up for you, we'll get you a root beer float shot.
Okay, deal.
All right, so you get a free root beer float shot no matter what, but you gotta try Malort. Deal.
All right.
The camera saw it. Deal. It's happening. But Joe's on Weed is a cool venue and a great spot. But I'm so psyched for you.
Thank you
what
so
you've
much.
got going on, like song on the radio, a team around you helping you do this shit, a bunch of cool stuff at fucking Red Rocks, dude.
I can't.
Rocks. You've put out some great music so far this year. You've got more coming. Mm-hmm. You found a producer that believes in you. You found it's so cool to see where we were in the fall of 21 when we first sat down. I'm in this damn studio.
Oh,
like with DM
let's
Monday.
talk about this glow up in this situation.
So
here.
I gotta credit it to Daddy Warbucks,
Okay.
Trey Lewis. Trey Lewis has paid for all this, and being on his team, I get to use it for a very good price.
Love
$0 a month.
My favorite price.
Very lucky, the best price. And then now I'm off the road. I'm not TMing for Trey anymore, and I'm running Raised Rowdy with Nikki T.
Incredible.
So it's like. We did 6 CMA Fest events.
Oh my God.
We're going we just did one festival. We're going down. We're covering the NASCAR race this week. So we have a NASCAR podcast now with Dawson Edwards and Caleb Conradi. We're going to like 10 more country festivals this year. We're going to, I think Nikki T, I might be going with them. They're going to Louder Than Life up in Kentucky, the Rock Festival.
Yep.
primarily to see Limp Bizkit.
Sure.
We're big butt rock guys.
Love.
And the butt rock account's taken off. Shout out, everybody be sure to follow Butt Rock Night, being run by Brian Fraser. It's like you know what butt rock is, right?
I
Like
think, yeah.
It's the best rock from like 1997 to like 2008.
Yeah.
So it's like Limp Bizkit, Creed, Nickelback, Hinder,
Oh, yeah.
Saliva, the hits, you
The
know?
hits.
Aaron Lewis when he was in Stained, like all that good, all that stuff. Nothing but rock. But yeah, it's been wild.
You are such an incredible supporter of just artists at every level. It's
appreciate that.
It's really awesome. I always look forward to getting to talk with you and hang with you. And we need more people like you because
We're trying to we're growing our cult of Raised Rowdy. It's a cult. We're growing it.
I would like to join.
Hey, come on in. We got a merch pack for you. So you're in
yeah.
the cult. And you've been in the family for a while with what we've been doing and with Revival and just seeing what you and your friends are doing. It's awesome. I want to do like a big like a reunion thing, almost like a reunion show.
That would be so
just
fun.
do a round of all you guys. The whole night is just the crew.
That would be awesome.
You, Meg, Tyler, Ben, Colin, Nate,
Yep.
Gabe, Becca, Reagan, Vinny. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Literally Chris Canterbury, like
Yep.
the entire anybody in y'all's crew that's a writer. And I don't care.
Ray Tier, John Deaches.
I haven't met John Deaches
Oh,
yet.
you're gonna love
I've heard
Deaches.
because when I went out, I subbed in and sold merch for Muscadine, a little bit of a throwback weekend back in March, and Tyler ended up being on the road with him. But they didn't tell Tyler that I was going out with him. I didn't tell Tyler I was going. So Tyler shows up at the first gig in Virginia. And he just comes up behind me. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing here, man? Let's go smoke a joint." So we went out, smoked a joint, and caught up. But he was telling me, he's like, "Bro, you got to meet my dude, John Deaches."
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
They've
"John,
been
he's like
inseparable.
He's like, "Dude, John is a vibe."
Yeah.
And so if I'm a big fan of Tyler Halverwho, I think I'll get down with some John Deaches.
And so I think he's been playing bass with him a couple gigs. Like I think he's going out with him again this weekend.
Sick.
Because he's got like a really cool musical background. He was in like this like kind of pop punk band
Yeah.
in the early 2000s called Pink Spiders, I think.
Pink Spiders.
And now he's like just crushing at songwriting and
what is that house situation?
the Big Gray.
That house over there is. You talk about like there's this whole like scene of what you guys are doing is like coming out of this house in Sylvan Park. Mm-hmm. Like, because it's Ben, Meg.
So it's a quadruplex. So there's 4 units in the house. And Vinny used to live there first a couple years ago.
Okay, so Vinny started the annexation of this house.
I believe that's where it really did
Okay, 'cause
start.
it was
And then
Vinny?
Vinny moved out, and then Ben and Nate moved in to a room downstairs, and then all of a sudden, you know, obviously like Meg hangs around there a lot. I hang around there a lot. Meg, obviously is there all the time.
Yeah.
And then some of the other units started like vacating, and so other people moved in. So the one next door, Aaron Ratier used to live there, and then when he moved out, because he just bought a house and he's just crushing it right now.
Yeah.
I love him so much. Then D just moved in. And then upstairs, like the apartments are rented by like the Pistolantes have like a place up there, and like Lucas Nelson's always coming through, and like Nikki Lane's been through a couple times, and there's just like
then Tyler's over there too, right?
well, so then when Nate moved out, Tyler came back from Texas, and Tyler moved in.
It's just a wild, like you have probably 15 songs a week getting written out of that house, probably 10 to 15 songs a week.
Oh, and the stories are just like you could fill a book with the shit that happens in that house.
Somebody, they're smoking and drinking coffee and writing a song on the back porch, and they're doing the same thing on the front porch, and they're doing the same thing upstairs. And then at the end of the day, all you guys hanging out in the common area has to be awesome with being like, "Oh, what'd you do today? Oh, what'd you do today?" Like, it's just a friendship thing. It's awesome.
And you just always know that there's something going on over there. Like, you know, if anyone's looking for something to do, or just a good hang and to catch up. And it's funny though. I think it's been emptier lately because everybody's on the road and everybody's doing stuff. So it's been a fun place to hang though.
Yeah. So what do we got coming up that people can go to look forward to?
Ooh, great question.
I was actually looking this up earlier. I was looking at what your tour dates were to kind of freshen up on. So I've got them right here. So I'll read them out for the people.
Okay, for the people.
Y'all go to watch Harper on tour here. Montgomery, Alabama, the Montgomery Whitewater. You ever been to Montgomery Whitewater, Mac? Okay, so newer place. Then the amp at Log Still with Brothers Osborne.
Yeah.
Brothers Osborne date. Who'd you say your agent was again?
Haley Riddle.
Haley, you are kicking ass, girl. Fuck yeah. Brothers Osborne date. Rick's Cafe. We love Rick.
I've not been to Rick's.
Okay, one of my favorite clubs in the country.
Really? Oh, I'm so excited.
Because of its character.
Oh, good.
It's awesome. So it is a divey spot that is just a staple. I mean, you go back the last 30 years, Kenny Chesney's played there.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg's played there. DMX played there. Like all different styles of music. And the kids in Starkville, they just appreciate country music so much.
Oh, I
so
love
I've been there
that.
with Muscadine once. I've been there with Trey, I think 2 or 3 times. Rick, who owns Rick's.
Rick
Great
of
guy.
Rick's,
Yep,
yeah.
Rick of Rick's. It's like Bob Vance of Vance Refrigeration.
Yes.
You know, Rick of Rick's Cafe. He's also, you got to ask him about his cow. Like, so him and his wife, they adopt animals and they have a big farm. And so he's got like 6 or 7 dogs. The dogs are usually there, like when you're loading in and stuff. So
Yeah.
you'll get to see the dogs and they'll all run around. Very friendly.
Oh, cute.
Got to ask him about his cow. He has a cow or a bull. It's a
Okay.
bull actually. I got it wrong on the episode. On the episode we really talked about it. I said it was a cow. I kind of insulted the bull. It's a bull named John Langston.
All right.
He got a bull. He adopted a bull, and they named it after John Langston. So it was little John Langston. Then it was medium size. I think it's like full bull John Langston.
All
So
right.
ask him about John Langston. Be like, oh, I haven't seen John in a while. But no, I'm talking about on the farm. I did the podcast
That's
with Matt
awesome.
and say that. Then the Lyric in Oxford. That place is freaking great. And then, the Shed Smokehouse. I've heard a lot about that place. I've never been.
I have not heard much about it. I need to familiarize
It's
myself.
like a lot of like Southern rock bands have played there over the
cool.
years. Like they have a loyal following, and it says Smokehouse and Juke Joint, which to me is just your
That's it,
vibe.
right there.
That is a
That's it.
Harper O'Neill vibe, everyone. And then the big ones coming up later. You've even got stuff into December, girl. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to the NFR with Lainey Wilson.
The NFR with Lady Wilson. That's like, what is life?
I don't know.
It's fucking cool. And then Red Rocks with Dierks Bentley.
Yeah.
The fuck?
And Ashley McBride and then Red Clay Strays.
Yeah.
Are you on them yet?
I've heard they're from Mobile, right? They're from Alabama.
I don't know
think.
where in Alabama, but
Is
they
that-
are.
I think they're from the same area as same hometown as Gary and Charlie with Muscadine.
Oh, wow.
So Nikki T's the one that put me on them with Red Clay Strays.
Their song "Wondering Why" has a chokehold on me. Like
Yeah.
every time it ends, I just start it over again.
Yeah, they're fantastic. And then
He's got kind of like an Elvis thing going on,
Yeah, it's
like
like a
an
crooner,
old school.
crooner kind of thing.
Yeah, it's cool.
Which is cool. Similar to who's the kid? William Beckman has that too.
Yes, I love William. Man,
Yeah.
he's awesome.
Yeah,
he's got that deep like Sinatra kind of
Yes,
voice.
yeah, like the crooner, like
yeah.
singing like I want him to sing. What is it? Dreaming of a White Christmas.
Oh, yeah,
Or like
yeah.
like the Bing Crosby shit.
Just
like
classics,
Old, yeah,
yeah.
it's just old school. Like all of his videos and all of his contents in black and white.
Yeah.
And to me, that's perfect because that's
Yeah.
the vibe. And then you've got the Orange Blossom review in December in Florida, Lake Wales, Florida.
Yeah.
So you're going all over the place, and there's probably some more stuff that I'm sure is going to pop up because Haley's
Fingers
working on it.
crossed.
No,
Haley's on it.
Haley's got you. In Haley we trust. Let's
In
go.
Haley we
we
trust.
trust. Fingers crossed for
I love
Harper.
it.
We're killing it. And then HarperO'NeillMusic.com
That's
on the
it.
socials.
That's the one.
And then the socials are Harper O'Neill Music and all
Keeping
that
it
stuff.
all the same.
Sweet. Awesome. Well, girl, I appreciate you coming and hanging. This
Thank
was
you so
fun.
much. This was easy fun.
I'm glad we were able to fit this into the busy schedules because I'm
Me
heading
too.
I'm heading down. It's funny enough, I'm heading down to Montgomery, Alabama this weekend.
Weirdly enough.
Yeah, so I'm heading down there tomorrow. Nikki T is actually on his way down there right now. We have there's a duo they're called Shackleford Lane. They just moved up here to Nashville from Alabama. They have a hunting camp. It's like 60 or 70 acres of a hunting camp. And they were like, hey, you boys want to come down early before the John Langston concert and do some redneck shit? Nikki's like, yeah,
we'll be there. Yeah.
Nikki's like, I've gone fishing. We're like, oh, we ain't fishing. You ever killed an armadillo?
Oh my
And we're like,
God.
what? No. And they're like, well, we got these night scopes and we got this farm and we're going to ride the four-wheelers and the side-by-sides. And so I'm very much looking forward to hanging.
Wow.
And the Shackleford Lane boys, they're some big boys. They're like, what, McElwain, like 6'2", 6', they're like tall guys.
It's about my height.
Yeah, they're about your height. They're the size of Harper. They're like 6'3", like 260, 260. They're just these
Yeah.
two like jacked farmer dudes.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go down there and party with them. And then we're coming back and covering NASCAR this weekend.
Oh my gosh.
Then Ray's Rowdy at the Ally 400 at the Nashville Super Speedway in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Oh my gosh.
It's going to be wild.
It's going to be.
And then we go up to Ohio for another festival the week of the 4th.
You are busy. I love it.
I'm busier now than I was tour managing. And I thought tour managing was
you're like, I'm going to be able to relax a little bit.
100 plus dates with Trey Lewis every year. I thought that kept me busy enough, but turns out running a company keeps you pretty fucking busy too. But girl, Harper, I really appreciate you coming on,
thank you
and
so
congrats on all the stuff going on for you. And can't wait to see where you're at. We'll do this again and at some point, and
hopefully we don't wait 2 years.
No, we will not wait 2 years. And I'd love to have you and another member of the crew on with you. Like, could you imagine we had like you and Tyler, or you and Meg, or you and Ben?
Let's do it. That would be awesome.
I want to meet this John Decius guy.
John Decius, and then there's another artist that you need to know about.
Who's that?
Alex Lambert.
Yes.
So
he has
good.
been popping up. Nikki T has been putting me on him.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Incredible vibe, incredible voice. You got to get on it.
Yes, we will get on that for sure. Y'all be sure to check out our girl, Harper O'Neill. Coming to a city near you. You can get all the dates on harpero'neillmusic.com. Follow along. And if you're a SiriusXM listener, be sure to call up the highway. Tell them to play the shit out of Guilty. Guilty is on the highway, on the horizon right now. Be sure to hit them up and get our girl Harper O'Neill some more spins out there. And be sure to go check her out on tour, stream the shit out of the music, and even buy some merch on the website. She's got it all. Appreciate you guys watching and listening as always. Shout out to our friends from Big Friendly Productions, getting the merch on there. Shout out to Alex and Paige. We also got Whale Tail Media, Saxman Studios, and of course our boy Mitch Wallace with the Digital Marketing Agency. For more information on us, hit up raisedrowdy.com. For our girl Harper, our boy Sweet Boy behind the camera, my name is Matt Burrill, and this has been Outside the Round.
I ain't never been the kind for staying in one place for too long. I ain't never been the best at saying I love you to a girl I love. Only got a couple tricks up my sleeve. They